Hi everyone, my name is Bridget and welcome to my channel. So this is part 2 to my video, my journey with psychedelics, because I never got to the answer of my question, was God in the unfolding of my life? So here's part 2. There came a time on my journey where I had to stop running from my story and start honoring it, because for a long time I questioned it. I questioned the pain, the chaos, the paths I took to survive it. And yes, I even questioned the psychedelic experience that opened my eyes in ways I could not explain at the time. But as I have walked deeper with God, I have come to understand something that changed everything for me. Nothing was wasted. Not the trauma, not the confusion, not even the ways I tried to find relief. Because God, in His infinite wisdom, will meet you where you are. And He will use whatever He must to wake you up to find who you truly are. You see, before the healing, before the awareness, before the peace, there was pain I didn't know how to carry. There was trauma that shaped how I saw the world. There was anxiety that kept me trapped in my mind. There was a level of brokenness that words cannot fully describe. And in that place, I was searching. I was searching for truth, for peace, for something real. And in that searching, I encountered something that shifted my perception: psychedelics. Now hear me clearly. This is not a glorifying of the path. This is about recognizing the grace of God within the path. Because what I experienced was not escape, it was unveiling. It was like the veil between what I believed was real began to tear. And suddenly I could see that I was not just a body carrying pain. I was not just a mind filled with fear. I was not just a victim of my past. There was something deeper within me. So something eternal, something connected, something divine. And it was in that awakening that I began to understand what Jesus meant when He said, "The kingdom of God is within you." Not outside, not far away, and not for a select few. Within you. But here's the truth I had to come to terms with. God didn't need the psychedelics to reach me. He used the moment because I was finally open. Because when the noise quieted, when the walls I built came down, when the identity I clung to dissolved, there He was. The same God who had always been there, the same presence that Jesus walked in the same Spirit that whispers truth beyond religion, beyond fear, and beyond control. And I began to see that even in my brokenness, I was being led. Even in my confusion, I was being shaped. Even in the choices I didn't fully understand at the time, God was working. Because Jesus never taught perfection. He as a requirement, He taught transformation. He taught that a seed must fall into the ground and die before it can truly live. And I see it now. Parts of me had to die. The fear, the false identity, the beliefs that told me I was separate from God or not good enough. All of it had to be stripped away so that truth could take root. And yes, my journey looked different. It wasn't clean, it wasn't traditional, it wasn't what many would expect. But God is not limited by our expectations. He meets us in the wilderness just as powerfully as He meets us in the temple. And just like Jesus spent time in the wilderness being tested, being refined, being prepared, so did I, and so do many of us. Because the wilderness is not punishment, it's preparation. It is where illusions fall away. It is where identity is reformed. It is where you come face to face with what is real. And when I came out of that season, I didn't come out the same. I came out aware. Aware that God had never left me. Aware that I was never separate. Aware that everything I walked through was shaping me into who I was created to be. Not who the world told me I was. not who my trauma tried to define me as, but who God knew me as from the beginning. And it was in that place, in that deep, undeniable knowing, that I made a promise. I told God, if you bring me into truth, I will share it. Not a polished version, not a religious version, but the real, raw, lived truth of what I have experienced. And I stand here today, still honoring that promise, even as I am still figuring it out. Because the truth is, this new version of me, this awakened, aware, surrendered version, I'm still learning how she moves. I'm still learning how she speaks, how she lives, how she walks in this world without shrinking back in who she used to be. And maybe that's part of the journey too, not arriving, but becoming. Jesus said, you will know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And I stand here today as a witness to that freedom, not because my journey was perfect, but because God is faithful, faithful enough to step into our mess, faithful enough to use even the most unlikely paths, faithful enough to turn pain into purpose. But let me say this with clarity and responsibility. The awakening was in the surrender. It was in the moment I stopped resisting truth. The moment I became willing to see beyond my conditioning. The moment I allowed God to show me what had always been there. And now I no longer seek outside myself for what was placed within me. I no longer chase experiences to feel connected, because I know now connection is my nature. Union with God is not something I earn. It is something I awaken to. And Jesus showed us this. He walked in oneness with the Father. He moved in love, in truth, and in authority. And he didn't call us small. He said, follow me, meaning walk as I walk, see as I see, know what I know. And what he knew was this: we are not disconnected beings trying to find God. We are created to live in awareness of him with us. And sometimes the path is not path to that awareness is not what you expect. Sometimes it looks like breaking, it looks like searching, it looks like walking through things we do not fully understand. But if your heart is seeking truth, God will meet you there. He will guide you, he will refine you, he will use every part of your story to bring you back to who you truly are. So I no longer carry shame for my journey. I carry understanding, and I carry gratitude, because what looked like detours were actually part of the process. And today I stand not as someone who has arrived, but someone who is walking it out in real time, learning, growing, becoming, holding on to this truth. God was in it all, guiding, protecting, molding me into who I was created to be. And if he did it for me, he is doing it for you. You just have to be willing to see, to surrender, and to trust the process, because nothing is wasted in the hands of God. Nothing. And that is the truth that set me free. So, if you see the world through the lens of fear, you will see the God this world has created, the material world, Satan. But when you change your perspective to see the world through the lens of love, you will see the God who created this world, God being realized through you, through humanity. So I hope you found this video informative today, and I'm wishing you a magical day. God bless.